You are now listening to Extracting Wisdom. Here to help you prevent the decay of your future is your host, Brandon Evert.
Welcome back to episode 30. That is right. That is a 3-0 of Extracting Wisdom. Can you guys believe that? That is absolutely nuts. My name is Brandon Evert, here to help prevent the decay of your future. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing the top 3 things not to do in your first year of dental school. I could talk about all the things that you should be doing, but I talk about that all the time on the podcast. So what I really want to highlight and focus on here are the 3 things that, in my experience, can really hinder your success in dental school and prevent you from starting off your dental school education on the right foot. So let's get right into it. Okay, so number 1, if you happen to get a grade that you aren't happy with, or you have to remediate a project, or if something doesn't go your way, whatever the case may be, do not shut down and give up. Okay, as much as you want to dwell on that bad grade and throw your hands up and say, well, my grade is shot, so I'm just not going to try, and I'm not going to try anymore, I'm not going to study as hard, and I give up. And that is such a bad habit to get into, because what will end up happening is that your motivation goes down and you just get absolutely buried by work, and then you get even more stressed out, and it's just a terrible cycle to get into, and you never want to have that happen. And even worse, you don't want to have that sort of mindset when you get into clinic, like, well, this crown prep sucks, so I'm just going to give up today. It's not my day today. And then you're going to take that attitude to your next patient and then the next. So you don't want to do that. So the question is, how do we prevent this downward spiral? We don't want this to happen to us during dental school. And you have to do 2 things simultaneously. And the first one is that you have to own that grade that you got, okay? And do some self-reflecting. Did I study enough? Did I study the right material? Do I need some extra help understanding these concepts? Should I make a meeting with my faculty and touch bases with them? It's important to do some self-evaluation to get back on track. And if you don't understand something, that's okay. And every single dental student will feel this way in some shape or form during their dental school experience. Everyone, okay? So lean on your classmates for help, because they know exactly how you are feeling. Okay, and the second thing is that you have to, and it's kind of hard to do, but you have to completely erase that memory of receiving that bad grade. You can't dwell on it. You can't sit there and sulk for 4 days, all right? You can't. And why? Because you don't have the time to do so. And that's not the type of person a dental student is. We are problem solvers and we are fighters. So it's going to be a struggle and it's going to be hard. Nobody said that dental school is easy, but what you can do is roll with the punches and keep moving forward with a positive and optimistic attitude. So don't let a less than stellar grade get you down. Let it be a motivator to seek help and make some changes and then move on. And the second thing is, do not rely on in-class time to develop your hand skills. And this point, I think, is so important. So let me paint a picture, and I bet you're going to be smiling at the end of this or nodding your head in agreement, because we've all been there and know this situation. Okay, so you're in your pre-clinic and you do your class 2 preparation and you do your composite restoration or whatever your project may be for the day. And you're done in about an hour and a half, and your class is slotted for 3 hours. So you raise your hand to have your instructor come on over and check your work, and they make a few comments about how you could have done something better or some areas that you can improve on. And then what do? You pack up your stuff and then head home, so you have a nice long lunch, and you can get a couple episodes of The Office in on Netflix or whatever. But we have all done something along those lines for sure. Okay, I'm guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it. But what I want to urge you to do is to hang around your clinic a little longer. Okay, and do one more preparation or one more restoration. Go above and beyond and get some extra feedback. Call your instructor over again and say, hey, here's my first prep and here's my second one. Where did I do better? Where can I still improve? You can really develop your hand skills a lot faster by simply taking full advantage of the class time that you have with your faculty, and you're paying for it, remember. So that's just the first thing. And perhaps the most important thing is that you can't expect to just show up in pre-clinic once or twice a week and expect your hand skills to be on point and clinic ready. Okay, we have to remind ourselves what the goal of pre-clinic is. Is it to get good grades and move on? No, it is so much bigger than that. We are developing our hand skills so that we can be efficient clinicians when we start seeing patients. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to keep my patient in the chair for 2 or 3 hours while I do a prep and put a temporary on. I want to impress my faculty and do great work in a short amount of time. And I think that's what every dental student should strive for. So in order to do that, you have to put in extra hours outside of the classroom, either after school, before school, or on the weekends. That's how you become a great future clinician. And to take this a step further, don't just focus on the procedure that you have to do for your upcoming performance exams or competency exams. Challenge yourself. Like, if you know how to do a class 2 restoration, why not try an MOD instead of just an MO? Okay, and why not try the same preparation that you've been practicing on a maxillary tooth or on a premolar? These types of things will only help you and will put you well above your classmates. So really, bottom line is practice as much as you can, because this practice and the extra hours that you put in, it's going to make you much less likely to be phased in clinic and just overall a much more efficient clinician, and you're just going to have happier patients because you're going to be done with them sooner than they thought. Okay, and the third thing is, do not stray from your schedule. Come up with a routine and stick to it. You really have to be robotic, and you have to be a machine during the week. And I'm not saying don't have fun or anything, but you have to make sure you have your priorities in check. And here, consistency is key. You have to make time every day to study. And trust me, I'm somebody who studies every single day, whether it's flashcards, which you can actually download my flashcards that I created throughout my D1 year on my website, Bevert.dental. But anyway, or it could be flashcards or looking through PowerPoints or drawing diagrams. If you stay consistent, it actually reduces your workload and stress level throughout the week, because instead of, like a lot of dental students do, instead of studying 10, 12, 14 hours the day before an exam, you don't even have to sweat the day before an exam, because you've been studying that material for weeks, and all of that material is going to be stuck in your brain, and you're going to be so prepared to go in and rock that exam. Okay, and let's face it, in dental school, we have a ton of material to get through and a ton of material that we are expected to know by the time an exam comes around. And doing these long marathon study sessions just won't cut it. So what I really suggest, and this might not work for everybody, and you have to do some self-experimentation and figure this out, but what really works for me is I study in small little bursts. Like, I will study 30 minutes tops and take a break for a while and then come back in 30 minutes and then come back in 30 minutes, and with breaks in between. That way I don't get burnt out. I don't get bored of studying. And that's just the way that really works for me. It keeps things fresh, so I'm reviewing things multiple times throughout the day, but I'm not staring at a screen for hours and hours and hours on end studying material. So that's just a little tip there if you would like to kind of change up your study methods or try something different. That might help you, just because, you know, the research out there shows that the longer you study, the less recall that you actually will be able to have, and the more mentally fatigued that you will become. And you don't want that. You want to be able to make studying enjoyable and, you know, get through it as productively and as efficiently as possible. But another really important thing about daily routines, and of course, I know I talk about this a lot, but it's so important, is to make time for yourself, okay? Obviously, as dental students, our lives revolve around school and studying and getting prepared to enter the field of dentistry, but you also have to make time for your mind and your body. So make some time to work out or be active, go for a walk, do something that involves you moving around a little bit. And also take time to sit and relax and reflect on your day, and just take some time to let your mind just kind of cool down a little bit, because it's working hard all day long, every day, 24/7 pretty much. So it's just so important. So don't be that person in dental school that doesn't have a routine, that is not on a schedule, because managing your time is crucial in dental school, and it's crucial to your success as a dental student and as a future dentist. So I really recommend to come up with a daily routine that you can stick to, that's not too overwhelming, but something that is really going to prime your mind and your body every single day to be as productive and efficient as possible. Okay, and I know I said 3 things, but I'm going to give you a bonus one here. And this is going to be a bonus tip. And this tip is, do not strive for mediocrity. Okay, we are all high-level students here. Every single one of us has gone through the gauntlet to get into dental school. So obviously everyone here is smart, is intelligent, and capable of navigating our way through dental school. But one thing that really bothers me is when I hear someone say, oh, that's good enough. And of course, I'm guilty of this too, but I really hate those words, because that just perpetuates the idea that whatever work you just finished could be better, but you're giving up and throwing in the towel because, you want to be done with it. And especially in dental school, you really want to strive for perfection. Obviously, we're not going to get there, but you're going to get further along in your career and further along in your hand skills and your your recall of your material if you strive for perfection. Okay. And that's one thing that I really personally strive for, is to strive for perfection, with the understanding that I might not get there, but I'm going to definitely get further along if I strive for perfection rather than striving for mediocrity. I really hope that makes sense. That's just something that bothers me when I start thinking, oh, that's good enough, because I know I can do better than that. So that's just some food for thought, just to keep that in mind. I hope that makes sense. Just do the best you can in dental school. And obviously, I know all these tips I just shared with you are much easier said than done. But if you can start incorporating these tips slowly and over time into your kind of dental school life and your dental school experience, I really feel like you're going to have a much more successful dental school education, a less stressful time studying for exams, and really just becoming a machine and just rocking dental school as a student, because you're on this very productive and efficient daily routine. And you're taking full advantage of the time that you have in school, rather than, running off to take a long lunch or watch Netflix or whatever it may be. So really and this is something I'm going to be striving to improve on even more my D2 year. So just keep those things in mind, and you're going to really notice a lot more success in dental school. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to wrap it up here. This might be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I just really wanted to make this episode as compact as possible. And if any of you ever have any questions about dental school, getting into dental school, please don't hesitate to contact me. I always leave my email in the show notes if you're listening to this on iTunes. It's Bevert, so Bevert.dental@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Instagram at Bevert.DMD. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, whether it's about getting into dental school, being a student in dental school, or getting the HPSP scholarship to be a military dentist. Anything really, I will get back to you as fast as possible. So please just don't hesitate to ask and reach out. And so I just really wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. This is the 30th episode of Extracting Wisdom. I'm so grateful for this podcast every day, and thankful for all of you guys that tune in and listen to all the episodes. And hopefully you guys are able to take something away or learn something from me just sharing my experiences going through dental school. So I really do appreciate that. And with that, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.